People love arguing about the greatest fighting game of all time, and that conversation never really stops. So today, I'm going to be putting the kibosh on it and telling you guys what fighting game franchise is the best of all time. But there's a lot to think about, so we're going to have to consider how long the series has been around, how it plays, the characters, the story, and just how much it changed gaming in general. So today, we're going to be breaking down these games right here: Smash Bros, Tekken, Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, and Injustice across 8 categories to see which fighting game franchise is the best of all time. So sit back, relax, grab some snacks, and stay tuned for the rest of the video. The first category we have is longevity. And being around for a long time isn't everything, but staying relevant is huge. Street Fighter has been around since 1987, making it the oldest game here. It basically invented modern fighting games, from arcades to consoles and then to esports. Even when some entries struggled, the competitive community stayed loyal, and Street Fighter 6 proves the series can evolve and stay fresh. Its ability to remain relevant for over 35 years is legendary. Mortal Kombat started in 1992 and has remained mainstream ever since. It constantly reinvents itself with new storylines, characters, and guest fighters. Even casual players recognize it, and it feels exciting every single time it releases. Tekken came out in 1994 and has had one of the smoothest evolutions in gaming history. Each new entry feels familiar, but better, without needing a full reboot. Its consistency and improvement makes it a long-term favorite. Smash Bros began in 1999, and older games like Melee are still played competitively today. Each new entry is massive, yet older ones coexist, creating a multi-generational community. A lot of people play Smash Bros all across the world, and it's so fun to play with their friends, family, and everyone knows about it, so it's very fun to play. Injustice only has 2 games, with the first one coming out in 2013, so it lacks longevity compared to the others, but both entries were very strong. Like, a lot of people played both games, but the franchise is still very young compared to the other ones. I'm gonna have to give the winner of this category to Street Fighter. Street Fighter is just the most influential, oldest, and very relevant today. The second category we have is lore, and the lore is very important to single player guys like me. The story might not be why most people play fighting games, but a good story can make a game stick. Mortal Kombat takes story very seriously, with realms, gods, and timelines. The cinematic story feels very much like interactive movies. It keeps the fans very invested. Even with timeline reboots, rivalries, and iconic moments remain unforgettable. Tekken focuses on the Mishima family drama, and the betrayals and grudges give the fights real stakes. The storytelling can be messy, but it keeps players hooked sometimes. Injustice, as we all know, leverages on the DC universe, so the whole what if Superman went evil was already adapted to the story. So the premise is simple, but it's very effective, honestly, because I really enjoy them. The story mode makes players care about the characters and the consequences. Street Fighter centers more on like individual backstories than like a simple timeline like Mortal Kombat. Ryu, Ken, Chun-Li, and others are memorable, even if the stories rarely intersect. Smash Bros barely touches on a story. Subspace Emissary and World Light are fun, but story isn't the main draw with Smash Bros. It's mostly just actual fighting. I'm gonna have to give this category to Mortal Kombat. I just love the cinematic storytelling with the timeline, the gods, and I could just watch a full 10-hour video of just the cutscenes alone. The third category we have is characters. Characters are super important. The characters define the identity of the fighting game. They're the faces, the playstyles, get over here, and what the fans actually connect with. Smash Bros is a celebration of gaming itself. It brings together icons from Nintendo and beyond. Mario, Link, Pikachu, Sonic, Cloud, into a single chaotic playground. The variety is huge, however, and each character feels unique in both mechanics and personality. For players, picking a favorite is part of the fun, and the diverse characters makes the game even more fun. Mortal Kombat has characters that are instantly recognizable, even outside of gaming. I'm sure everyone has heard of Scorpion, Sub-Zero, Raiden, and Liu Kang if you've never heard of Mortal Kombat ever. They have such distinct personalities and styles, it's just so amazing to watch. And fans often debate who's the best fighter, not just mechanically, but in iconic moments. Street Fighter defined character archetypes for the entire genre. Each fighter has distinct moves, motivations, and visual identities. Characters like Ryu, Chun-Li, and Akuma are timeless and easily identifiable, giving players a strong connection to the game. Tekken has one of the most diverse rosters in any fighting game here. Every character plays differently from one another, like the Mishimas, to ninjas, to wrestlers, allowing players to choose different fighting styles for their characters. The depth and variety keep the matches fresh and challenging for people. Injustice is all really about DC superheroes and villains, While instantly recognizable, there's less originality, and the roster is just a tie to like existing comics and stuff. So it's not like real characters made up on the spot. It's just they just take characters from comics from long ago, they just put it into the game and call it a day. I'm gonna have to give this category to Smash Bros. However, it just has every character you could think of, and it's just so fun to play with different characters, liking different players to play with. The fourth category we have is consistency. Consistency is very important to fighting games. Consistency is all about the game being put together properly while keeping the experience new and keeping the games fresh. Tekken delivers consistency perfectly. Each entry builds on the last, keeping the core gameplay intact while introducing new characters, mechanics, and stages. Fans know that when a new Tekken releases, it will feel familiar but better. So it's a win for the veterans who played a long time ago and the newcomers. Tekken rarely disappoints with this consistency, and its steady quality over decades has earned the trust and loyalty of fans all around. Smash Bros also rarely misses, but balance changes or stage differences can sometimes divide the community. Each game adds meaningful improvements, but some iterations shift the meta in ways that like a lot of people get mad and like certain players get mad. But still, the franchise has a reputation for keeping its chaotic fun intact while evolving. Have you guys ever seen those videos of just those Smash Bros?
You just lose so much
God, the
space
drop's unfair.
and the complete ability to edge guard.
Street Fighter has its highs and lows though. Some games have uneven balances, but the community often embraces them. Like, I embrace some of the characters being buffed or nerfed, so I just had to deal with them. But the mechanics are often refined over time, and even when like a buff character or like a nerfed character like struggles, the core gameplay fundamentals remain the same. Mortal Kombat takes risks with story, mechanics, and style, which can also be divisive sometimes. While this makes the games exciting, it sometimes leads games to feeling inconsistent to fans who prefer like a steady, defined formula. Injustice is solid, but with only 2 games, it hasn't yet really proved long-term consistency across multiple generations. It's not like Tekken or Street Fighter, which has been like, you know, games for like 30 to 35 years, so I can't really say much about Injustice, but I wanted to add it to this list because I enjoy Injustice a lot. I think it's like super fun to play. I have both games and I really love it, so I wanted to add it to the list. But the winner of consistency has to go to Tekken. I mean, it just delivers steady, high quality gameplay, you know, every release, keeping fans coming back after each year. The next category we have is the cultural impact. Cultural impact measures how much a game influenced players, gaming history, and even pop culture outside of gaming. Street Fighter is the ultimate pioneer in competitive gaming, and it practically created the fighting game scene, inspiring tournaments like EVO, influencing countless other fighting games, and embedding characters like Ryu, Ken, and Chun-Li into gaming history. Beyond gameplay, however, Street Fighter set the standard for combo systems, meters, and competitive mechanics that are still implemented to games such as Mortal Kombat, Tekken, and so much more. So Street Fighter's influence stretches far beyond the arcade, and it's like its own little cultural world at the end of the day. Mortal Kombat made headlines with its graphic violence, fatalities, and controversial content, which you guys probably already know. Also, Mortal Kombat shaped the ESRB rating system, and it also cemented itself a mainstream phenomenon. Character moves and quotes like Scorpion's infamous "Get over here" have entered the pop culture like everywhere we go. Tekken defined 3D fighting games and arcade culture, particularly in Asia. Its global tournaments and iconic characters made it a household name among like serious fighting game fans. Smash Bros brought fighting games to like a more wider, more casual audience. It popularized though like crossover concepts and showed that like party style games and competitive gameplay can like coexist with other fighting games like Mortal Kombat that are more like bloody. Injustice proved that fighting games can just only tell like cinematic stories though, but its cultural footprint is smaller than the others. Like I said, it only has 2 fighting games. You know, it's only been around for like 12 years. But the cultural impact category, I'm gonna have to give it to Street Fighter. I mean, Street Fighter just has a massive influence. It shaped the whole genre of fighting games, and it remains instantly recognizable decades later. Next, we have graphics. Graphics are about style, presentation, you know, readability, and how immersive the fighting game feels. So Tekken uses realistic character models and smooth animations. Every punch, kick, and combo flows naturally, making fights feel more grounded and rewarding. Its attention to detail in stages, lighting, and character expressions enhances the experience, giving both casual and competitive players a visually satisfying game. Mortal Kombat is cinematic in every single sense possible. X-ray moves, fatalities, and intense stage designs. It makes the fight feel more dramatic and impactful for fans to enjoy. The combination of realism and over-the-top violence creates a spectacle that's both thrilling and memorable because I enjoy it too. Smash Bros has a simple, timeless art style, It's not hyper realistic like the other games, but it has like a, you know, just a simple, readable, and fun game. Each character is instantly recognizable. Like I said, its stages are colorful, dynamic, and you know, creates a visually exciting game. Street Fighter is bold and stylistic. Its exaggerated moves, unique character designs, and clear hit effects makes it easy to follow the action. It's not that hard to, you know, really understand. Street Fighter is not as cinematic as Mortal Kombat, but it does have a timeless visual identity. But for the graphics, I'm gonna have to give this one to Mortal Kombat. Just the X-rays, the fatalities, everything makes the game so much more fun and entertaining, and every single person can recognize it from, you know, all across the world. So category number 7, we have gameplay. The gameplay is super important. Like, this is where players feel the game, and Tekken dominates here. I'm just gonna tell you that. Tekken is mechanically deep and highly rewarding. Each character is so different from one another. They play differently, they move differently, and the spacing matters in this game so much. Mastering combos takes years of practice. Like, all the pros you see, they've been playing Tekken for like a long freaking time. You never see newcomers play and play in like esport Evo tournaments or anything like that. Mortal Kombat is fast and flashy though. It has, you know, approachable combos and cinematic moves. It's fun for casual and competitive players, you know, just to play with their friends and stuff. But, you know, it lacks Tekken's mechanical depth, and, you know, you really need to think about Tekken. You don't really have to think about Mortal Kombat. It's more just, you know, like a chillaxing game. Street Fighter is similar to Tekken, though, with the fundamentals like spacing, reads, you know, really thinking about the matches. So the matches are very strategic, but, you know, the games, their combos, they're just very different from one another. Smash Bros is very chaotic and fun to play with, like, with your friends and stuff. But I would call it, like, a less traditional fighting game compared to, like, Street Fighter and Tekken. So, you know, it's less traditional, but it's still fun to play with. Injustice, kind of the same. It's slower, strategic. You know, you have to rely on like stage interactions and zoning. So it doesn't really match Tekken's depth, but, you know, you still have to think about it as well. But the clear winner here is Tekken. I mean, it's just so deep, rewarding, and it's just so mechanical. It's so fun to watch. I love watching the, you know, the esports games between people. It's just, you know, it's very mechanical. And now we have the last category, the esports and competitive scene. The competitive scene is about tournaments, player communities, and longevity in professional play. Like tournaments like Evo and stuff like that, the Capcom Pro Tour. Street Fighter is the gold standard of this. I mean, just the Evo, Capcom Pro Tour, and like countless other tournaments exist worldwide because of Street Fighter. Different generations of players, you know, they have their craft in Street Fighter, and it continues to dominate esports stages globally. Tekken also has a really massive competitive scene, especially in Asia, like I mentioned. Just the combo depth, the diverse character roster makes tournaments intense and highly technical. Like I said, just watch one Tekken tournament and you're gonna see. Tekken players spend years mastering multiple characters, creating a highly skilled and passionate community between people. I mean, dude, these people don't mess around. They play Tekken every single day. But Mortal Kombat's tournaments, particularly in North America, just here in the US, its competitive scene is smaller and less consistent than like Street Fighter and Tekken that are like across the whole world. But the casual appeal, you know, it often outweighs the hardcore esports focus. I mean, a lot of people play Mortal Kombat for fun, and usually that outweighs like competitive playing, you know, with Street Fighter and Tekken. Smash Bros has an extremely passionate competitive community. I mean, people play this game a lot too. It's particularly for like Melee and Ultimate though, like those older games. And the high level play is very chaotic and very exciting to watch too. It's a very different style though from the, you know, Tekken and Street Fighter games, but the competition is kind of the same. But for Injustice, I'm sorry, you guys see some tournaments, but your guys' esports presence is pretty limited. But the winner of this, I'm gonna have to give it to Street Fighter. I mean, it's just unmatched in competitive play. It's just all across the world people play, and, you know, just a global tournament scene. So the quick recap of the winners: longevity goes to Street Fighter, lore goes to Mortal Kombat, characters go to Smash Bros, consistency goes to Tekken, cultural impact goes to Street Fighter, graphics goes to Mortal Kombat, gameplay goes to Tekken, and esports and competitive scene goes to Street Fighter. So tell me your guys' overall thoughts in the comments. But according to my list here, the best fighting game franchise of all time is Street Fighter. I mean, Street Fighter won the most categories here. It's, you know, it's all across the world. Hey guys, so I'm editing this video right now, and towards the end around here, my audio just completely turned off. I don't know why. If you guys like this video, please consider subscribing and liking the video. It would mean a lot. And also leave some comments down below if you guys agree or disagree with my, you know, topics and categories. And let me know what fighting games I should, you know, include next if I do make a part 2. Because I really love talking about fighting games. It's one of my favorite type of genres. And let me know what type of videos I should make next. But I'm very sorry for this audio. I don't know what happened. It just abruptly turned off. But that's gonna do it for this video, guys. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.